Searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, but those eyes so bright. They look into my soul.
One brand you've maybe seen me post on my Instagram before is Vivrel. So this is the first of its kind luxury accessories. It's a members only club providing members access to borrowed designer handbags, jewelry, watches, and diamonds. I did this on a trip to New York where I just needed to elevate my look a bit, but I don't like spending the money on anything designer because I can be a bit frugal. And that's why I love Vivrel, because members can treat the Vivrel closet like their own. They can borrow anything within their tier. Vivrel has no return dates, and members can swap items once per month or keep items for as long as they'd like. Memberships start at $45 a month. The most popular is the Classique tier for $119 a month. But literally, there's no better time to sign up as June is filled with the biggest drops ever, with drops including at least $1 million worth of inventory weekly. Inventory is incredible from brands like Hermes, Fendi, Saint Laurent, Dior, and so much more. You can use code GOODASGOLD to get 30% off your first month of membership. Just go to www.vivrel.com and apply for a membership today using code GOODASGOLD for 30% off 1 month of membership. The code will also allow you to skip the Vivrel waitlist. That's VIVRELLE.com. Use code GOODASGOLD for 30% off 1 month membership. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another week of Scheananigans. We've got Janet and Jared back in the studio today. How we doing?
Good.
You know, we're your plus ones. We're your plus 1 and 2. We always refer to you as we're going to Scheana with Scheana somewhere. We're plus 1 and 2. Sorry, Brock and Summer Moon.
I love it. I feel like it's been a minute though since the three of us were in the studio together.
Yes.
Because Jared's been here with Kiki.
Yep.
And then I think you've maybe been here with Kiki, but all of us together. So we definitely have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
The last time you were here, we attempted to prank call Jason, and it was
Oh
going
my
well
God.
until
Too well.
I couldn't help but laugh.
Too well. Poor Jason.
Jason. He's
What
so
was my
gullible.
name? I don't even remember.
Wasn't it like Pamela or something?
Yeah,
It was like some
Pam
very
from
sad-
Valley Village
Yeah.
Medical Center.
See, because my
She
wife's
was in an
dead.
accident.
Yeah, poor guy.
Such a bad prank. Oh, I felt so bad.
Jason's just too innocent. He's the one who needs protected at all costs.
Oh, I know. I love your husband.
He's the
And
best.
yeah, so I again,
Love him and those
Jason, we're sorry.
biceps.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason.
Sorry, baby.
Well, we also had a very special announcement come out this week. I've been getting a lot of messages asking me if I'll be doing a book tour. As we all know, the answer is yes. I will be going on tour, and I am so excited. I'm terrified. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I've been, as you guys know, debating Xanax or beta blocker before I go on stage.
Big conversation.
Which one? I think
Beta
as of
blocker.
now, I
Xanax.
just refilled a Xanax prescription. So we're going to try that first.
Yeah.
And just see. But
Come
I'm really,
see Scheana zonked out on stage.
really excited. So we're going to have a lot of special guests. We're going to kick things off with a live conversation and a Q&A at the 92Y in New York City on Monday, July 21st. And the moderators I have, you guys, you are going to be so excited when you find out who they are.
Woo!
I am so excited. And I just, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm all of the feels. And it's just one stop of 12. So there's 11 stops after New York.
Are you allowed
We're
to
gonna
say
be
which ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to Chicago after New York. Then I come back. We're not doing a live show in LA, but we're doing the signing at the Grove on
Barnes
July
and Noble.
25th
Fun.
at 7 p.m. And that's just like an iconic thing that you have to do. You know,
Yeah.
I would rather do that in LA than a live show when I'm doing live shows everywhere else.
Yeah.
So after that, then we go to Salt Lake City.
Ooh.
So whether it's Mormon wives or housewives, you know, hopefully we have some of them on stage with me.
You have a big
TBD.
Salt Lake
who
City crew.
I've talked to a bunch of them. And so I know a lot of them will be coming, but then I'm like, a lot of them are beefing. So it's like
Uh-oh.
I'm friends with everybody in true Scheana fashion. but they're not all friends with everybody.
Assigned
So,
seats.
yeah. And then after Salt Lake City, we go to Austin, which that might be the show I am most excited for a reason I cannot say yet, but it might be the best show on tour.
Okay.
There's
Book your
gonna
flights
be
now.
Something special debuted at that show. So I'm really,
Okay.
really excited for Austin. And I can't wait to go to Summer Moon Coffee.
Oh,
I've
heard
never
about
been.
that.
I have merch from them, but I've never actually been inside one. So
I love it.
very excited for that. And I think some of my family who lives in Houston are going to come out for the Austin
Fun.
show.
Will
So that'll be
Summer
good to see them.
come to some or all of the shows?
Okay, so we're trying to figure that out because after Austin, we go to Boston.
Okay.
Then we go to Pittsburgh, Atlanta, DC.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
This is
I'm
so fun.
I'm kind
So
of
world
back.
tour.
I
Well,
come back
American tour.
for 2 days, like the August 1st and 2nd. Perfect timing when Gaga is
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
forum.
Oh, by the way, we need to figure out our ticket
Yeah,
situation.
so we'll figure that
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for sure. But I'm like, I will pay however much I have to pay
We
at
gotta
this
see
point.
your
Can't you
number
just
one
text your
fan.
friend Gaga and
Yeah.
ask her for
I
tics?
wish.
She's
I
a big
know.
fan of yours.
Yeah.
I know, right? No, I will support and pay for tickets. I just haven't yet because we were finalizing the schedule. So I'm like, am I going to go to Vegas before I go on book tour? Or if I'm in LA, I'm like, that is so crazy that the 2 days I'm in LA are her shows in LA.
Yeah.
Meant
So I
to
come back for
be.
that. And then we're in DC. And then from DC, we go to Cincinnati.
Ooh, Ohio.
So yeah, and some special guests there. I'm really excited. Already locked in. But from Cincinnati, then we're driving.
Mm.
So we're debating if Brock and Summer are going to come out for that portion and do like family road trip.
Fun.
Griswold.
So it goes like Cincinnati, St. Louis, Nashville, and then we're closing out the show in Philadelphia.
Oh, fun.
For sure, she's coming out to Philadelphia. It's just TBD if we're going to do the road trip portion with her. I think it would be so fun. But also, I don't really want to fuck with her schedule too
Yeah.
much. And she is in school 5 days a week. She's got after schools, this and that. But like, when else is your mom on book tour?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
hopefully I write another book one day,
Yeah.
but that'll be years from now. So I do think it would be fun to have her. Brock and I are just going back and forth with it because if we bring Summer, does that mean we also bring my mom? So
Yeah.
then they can kind of switch out if I want to incorporate them in the shows, but then
Totally.
it's bedtime. I don't know. So
Lots of logistics here.
figuring that out, but definitely I want to have her in Philadelphia. One of Brock's best friends lives there. He's a coach for the Eagles.
Oh, fun.
So hopefully some of the players and their wives can come to that show and then do a weekend in New York just as
Yeah.
a little vacation
Finish
end
it off.
cap for tour. And then we're also thinking in mid-August, we might even add some more if we go
Ooh.
around. Like my friend wants me to do a thing in Sacramento.
Mm.
Maybe we go to Canada, you know, so that's still TBD, but all of these dates are locked in. So if I'm coming to a city near you, be sure to get your tickets. All tickets come with a copy of the book, but if you've already pre-ordered, then give one to a friend and, you know, support.
So by the time this airs, people will be able to go online and buy the tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Yay.
I know, I'm so excited, but the show, it's going to be so fun. So we're still mapping out what the live show is going to be. But I think every city is definitely going to be a little different.
Well, it has to be.
You
just based
know,
on who
it's
you know. Well, and you know someone
in
in,
the
every
cities,
freaking city.
but also I want to do different little games and things tailored to each city. So it's not going to be a copy and paste show where I do this game, I say this, I do that. Like every show is going to be completely different. And Austin is going to be the most different.
Interesting.
so
Now I'm like,
excited.
what date is
I know.
Austin?
I just want you to tell
Do
us
I
and then
need
just
to?
beep out all, the whole
Austin
section.
is July 27th.
July 27th. Let's look into flights.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
27th.
I'm going to catch a couple shows for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see which ones exactly, but I have my eye on a few.
It'll just be fun to go out in the cities after, but
Totally.
also need to save my voice. So, like, I'm not going to be drinking, smoking weed. Like, I'm taking this as seriously as I took the Masked Singer. And thanks to the fluid that's been in my ear for going on 2 weeks,
Oh my gosh, you have fluid in your ear too,
Mhm.
Jared.
it started to pop this morning. I'm like, we're almost there. We're almost there. But I pick up my steroids today. So hopefully that'll just kick the last of it because it has, though, forced me to just extra take care of my body
Yeah.
because I don't want to do anything that's going to make it worse.
when that hot water, I've been telling Jared this. Jared said something in his ear from
I've
an
had an
ear
ear
infection.
infection for a month.
And I'm like, when that
from all
hot
these damn
water
kids of
dribbles out of
yours.
your ear, though, is there any greater feeling?
Oh, I can't wait for it.
I hope we do. I hope ours happens at the
I
same
hope,
time.
I hope your
Right?
ears drain at the same time.
I mean, I've never had this. And for this long, it's been hard. I feel like it's made me talk a little differently. I feel like I've had a lisp for the last 2 weeks. I'm just like, I can't fully hear myself talk. And so this weekend we had 2 shows, and I'm not supposed to be around, live music or anything like that. And I hate wearing earplugs.
Yeah.
But I did the earplugs. And last night at the Roxy, I kept them in the whole time. And I was like, okay, it's not that bad. When I'm talking to people, I'm like, I can kind of hear you.
Yeah.
But it's weird when I can't hear my own voice kind of coming out. I'm like, is this making sense?
That's interesting.
But it was so fun. On Saturday, we had a bunch of the preschool moms. One of the dads is a musician. He writes for a bunch of big artists and whatnot. We all had matching shirts with his face all over it. As you saw, I met up with you guys after. But I was like, are you sure we can come by this Katrini event? We're all in matching band t-shirts.
It was fine. It was a big fun thing, but I feel like by the time you guys got there, it was smaller in the beginning, but then
and then it became a party.
No, it was so fun. And it was cool because when we drove from the show, we're obviously going to meet you guys at the one hotel on Sunset. So I got to take the parents by the billboard and they were just like, oh my God.
It's like way bigger and
huge.
brighter than you think. I remember when Jason and I drove by it for the first time, we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed by it. I'm like, oh, me? That big? Shouldn't be.
It's so cool to have a billboard also for just being us and representing a brand that we love. It's not for the show. It's not anything else other than us and Salmon DNA on our face.
I love those guys so much. And that's the thing is I've had a couple people now since the billboard that have ordered it. And they're like, wait, this Kiki was even saying, she was like, wait, this shit's really good. And I was like, I know. So it's nice to promote a product too that I'm to transparency. They have paid me to promote stuff in the past.
Yeah.
Billboard, I was happy to just do.
Yeah.
I thought it was such an honor that they asked. But it's so nice. I'm happy to promote a product that I actually believe in. And then when other people use it and they're like, oh, this actually works and is really good. I'm like, see, that's why. And Chris and Cam are just the nicest human beings in the entire world.
No,
and
I
I'm
love
so
them.
grateful to call them as friends. So
yeah. And I mean, the product is freaking good.
It works.
It's legit. The way they
I have it on my
formulate
face every night.
Yep.
The eye patches, which I also put on my smile lines.
Yeah.
And I do feel like this one has gotten a little more faint. So
you can also cut the eye patches in half and put them on your crow's feet.
Ooh.
That
They are
helps, and it
developing
pops them
a
out.
full face mask
Yeah.
version of it where you can where it will fit the contours of your face in
Yeah.
different parts. But
Nice.
in the meantime, it's definitely
I like that.
the way to
That's
go
really
for
good.
because
fine
I
lines.
have those overnight ones that you get, from TikTok shop or an Instagram ad. They come from Korea or somewhere, I don't know. And they're
the best
great, but I'm
stuff.
also reading the ingredients and I'm like, what is this shit
Yeah.
that I'm putting on my face?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I appreciate their product so much. And
Yeah.
again, not a sponsored post, but it's just it's so soothing and hydrating. And after my sensitive chemo skin, and the good thing is not a lot of alcohol in it, which
Yeah.
people as
Yeah.
a makeup artist, products that have alcohol in them, foundations, concealers, I know it's necessary for FDA and to keep products from rotting away and stuff.
Mhm.
But we need to limit how much alcohol we have in our skincare because it's so drying and so damaging to your skin.
Totally.
So when I found out how low of a dose was, I was like, put me in a bathtub of this salmon sperm. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
So,
Now we were going through it so much at our house, and Jason was stealing it from
Yeah.
me. And I
I've
was
had Brock put it on too.
and Jason, a little bit goes a long way.
It does.
Someone asked me how long a jar lasts, and I was like, for me, 3 months. But
Yeah.
I use the tiniest amount, and I have a small face. Jason went through a jar in 2 weeks, and I was like, you're not allowed to touch it anymore. I'm like, you're not doing. And then I told Chris and Cam, I was like, I'm not allowing Jason to use it anymore. He's burning through it. I'm like, it's rude how much he's using. And they gave me a giant tub of it for Jason to use. So I was like, all right, now he has.
yeah, I have the giant tub also.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have to steal all my
I
stuff.
love it.
But
and I love that you point out your small face and your perfect little forehead
little
and
forehead.
hairline. I had to literally have them Photoshop my hairline for the billboard. When they sent the photo, I was like, can we just pull my hairline down a little
Girl,
bit?
I knew you were gonna say that.
you're leave the skin.
Not to
but-
blow up your spot, but I know when it's time to edit a picture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always like, oh yeah, Scheana wants me to pull this hairline down just
Yes,
a smidge.
just
And you
a
know who
smidge.
started doing it? Me
Yep.
to myself now.
Oh my
I like to have a
gosh.
lower hairline too. I'm like, Actually, good call, Scheana.
Yes.
Thank you,
Lift mine up.
Facetune.
Everybody says I have a Teresa Giudice forehead, which I'm like, I think
That's a compliment.
That's what I think.
I wish I had a smaller forehead.
Well, and Jason thinks he's got a big old head, which maybe he does, and that's why
He
he's
does
using
have
so much
a big
product.
face.
Someone pointed out yesterday or a couple days ago, Allie and I did her podcast, and then
Yeah.
Allie and I did a couple fun TikToks. And one of them, obviously, I'm joking. I walk in, I'm like, oh, I get my good side, right? And she's like, Scheana, it's my show, like out of my chair. And honestly, I was actually with my hair pulled back that day and I hadn't filled in my hairline. I'm getting more comfortable on my not good side. I don't want to even say my bad side because I don't want to put that out there.
Yeah.
But I
Good
was
for
like,
you.
okay, it's actually not that bad. And then the comments, they're like, oh my God, Sheena's hairline's already receding. Stop pulling your hair back so tight. I go, my hairline has always been like this since I was a child, and it's my biggest insecurity. But thank you for pointing it out.
Yet again.
Hence
Come
why
on.
I like being photographed on
From
my
one
left
side.
side. It's just because of the hairline. That's the only reason. I think the
my
rest of my face is
God.
quite even.
Yeah.
But the hairline is not.
By the way, I'm dying to do Allie's show. I've told her a million
so
times.
good.
And I just want to do a reading with her at some point because the stuff she's told me before has and just astrology readings in general. At the Cotrini event, when I first met them, they had an astrologist there. And that was like right the time when I was starting to try to get pregnant. And the astrologist there was like, you're either going to get pregnant in March, which is like the strongest because the moon is here and,
Oh, yeah.
all this stuff.
That's when it
Or if
happened.
that doesn't happen, it's going to be in November. And I, sure enough, got pregnant in March.
Yep.
I was
That's
like,
Scandival, baby.
yeah, right after. If anything good came from that, it was
It's Cameron.
me. I was like, Ariana, I have to leave. I have to go have sex now. She's like, oh no. I was like,
Yeah,
no.
you're like, it's that time.
Yeah. And then, like 3 weeks later, I was like, well,
It
worked.
worked.
so that's good.
Yeah. So I took Allie to a play date with me recently. It was after Summer's dance recital. And just introduced her to all of the moms. And I'm going to be room mom next year.
Oh my gosh, you'd be such a good
Well, I
room
guess
mom.
this year it starts like next week. So room moms have to, plan like a parents' night, plan the field trips and all of that. And we're like, wait, what if we have all of the moms give us, their birth time? We have Allie do
Ooh,
their birth charts.
That's fun.
yeah.
That's a good
cool
one.
So we're going to do like a night under the stars and do like a little outdoor dinner and have Allie come and do all the moms' birth charts.
If I get into the Mommy and Me class, can I be invited?
Yeah.
That was a big delay.
It's kind of, it's like you'll
I'll help.
have your group
I'll help.
and then,
I'll be your assistant for the day.
okay, well,
I'm inviting myself.
perfect.
Sheena's like not going to tell me any details, and I'm just going to show up anyway.
It's written in the stars,
I'll
baby.
find
It's written
you.
in
On
the
that
stars.
note, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back. Wayfair is the place I go for everything home. Literally, you've heard me talk about this here before, and it's because I actually have stuff in every single room in my house and outside from Wayfair. I really feel like it's nice to escape to a place that truly feels like yours, something that feels like your own, something with your own personal touches. And one thing that we recently did was update our outdoor space. I wanted some more seating room for our guests when they come over. This summer, we're doing pool parties. And I love the set that we got because I have it set up in a perfect square for people to sit and talk. But also, you can take the pieces apart and move them around the yard. So you literally have seating all the way around the pool. It's the perfect outdoor space for me. They also have outdoor structures and spas to make your home feel like an oasis, because isn't that what you want? You want your home to not only be your safe space, but to be your place where you just like feel like you're on vacation when you're outside. And that's exactly how I feel. There's something for every style and every home. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your summer goals with free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. So don't wait. Make your outdoor space your dream oasis today with Wayfair and enjoy it all summer long. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Y'all know I love my Riley and crew outfits, not only the ones that my daughter has, but also the ones that I have. Riley and Crew has so many adorable looks. I've literally been putting these on Summer since she was like a year old. I just keep going a size up, a size up, a size up, and pass them down to family and friends because they are so cute. The Riley and Crew collective combines art and imagination. They feature hand-drawn illustrations paired with beautiful muted tones and timeless designs. It will seriously be your favorite thing you put on your kid. Boy or girl, they have something for everyone. Riley and Crew is more than just a clothing brand. Also, it's a one-stop shop that caters to you and your children at every stage of life. So whether it's welcoming the newest member of your family in Quincy May, dressing your child in Riley and Crew for their first day of school, which I plan to do, or celebrating special occasions in a Nora Lee dress, I'm telling y'all, the Nora Lee dress we just got for Summer is to die for. They literally have an outfit for every occasion. So if you like dressing your kids cute like I do, or if you want to dress yourself up in Riley and Crew, then visit rileyandcrew.com/shenanigans and use code GOODASGOLD for 20% off your first order. That's RYLEEANDCRU.com/shenanigans and code FAMOUS for 20% off orders of first-time customers. Okay, so I want to go back to this weekend because when I saw you guys yesterday, I said, I have to go. I'm going to see Jason Momoa's band at the Roxy.
Oh.
I had no idea Jason Momoa was in a band. I mean, it just took his hot level even hotter, which I didn't think was possible.
I'm shocked you didn't go to this. This is your hall pass, right? I guess.
And we ended up with 2 extra tickets.
No matter what.
Our double date, they stood us up. So we had 2 extra tickets.
So I could have gotten close to sucking his D?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, his girlfriend was there. His kids were there. His kids came on stage and performed with him.
Oh, that's cute.
His daughter sang.
What kind of
sang
music
like 3
does he
songs.
sing?
They did covers.
Okay.
And then also it was just like very rock.
Okay.
It like took me back to like the 80s. Like
He's
I
very
felt like
into that vibe.
it was so good. But his daughter, she's like 17. She had the most beautiful voice.
Wow.
She did 3 songs. They had some other people come up. Like, it was such a good show. They played for over 2 hours.
That's
my
cute
God.
that he has his whole family in on this.
Yeah. And then we go to the Rainbow Room. So a couple of the girls who work at SUR and are on the show, one of them also works at the Roxy and at Rainbow. And so she sneaks us in the back way. So we get into the after party before anyone else is there.
Nice.
You know, at the Rainbow Room, how there's like that little, it's almost like a little treehouse area. It's like this secret little room up there.
I know I've been there, but I can't imagine it
You
right
go
now.
upstairs and then they have a little bit of like a dance floor. Sometimes they do karaoke, live band. And then it's like a tiny bar, but then there's these itty bitty stairs and it's this tiny room. Like I had to duck to get in it. And so we just like planted ourselves there. And Brock's like, I don't even think he's coming, And I was like, no, he said it on stage. Like after's at the Rainbow. I mean, obviously not everyone can get in, but thanks to our little connection, we got in the back way. And so we weren't going to stay that late. And then all of a sudden, Jason Momoa walks in. And we're like,
did you get to meet him?
Yeah. So we met him just like very briefly.
Jared's going to kill you.
Said, great show. But it was funny because his kids were in there. And so like we're all talking. And then this guy walks in. He's probably about my age. And he fanboys over Brock and I.
Oh.
Turns out this is his like business partner of like 20 years.
Did Jason Momoa know who you were or know that you were
No, I don't think so.
On, in the
I mean, other
biz.
people like in his friend group did. But it was just like, I felt like we belonged. Like we sneak in and then we just end up like hanging out with his like business partner of 20 years. Him and Brock exchanged numbers. He's in town for another month. And he's like, well, now that I watch the show, like I want to go to the bars and stuff. And Brock's like, I'll take you.
Does Jason Momoa live in Hawaii?
I don't know where he lives currently. He did say in part of the show, he's like, we're like from Hollywood. But I mean, I think he's just been in Hollywood for so long because he was born in Hawaii.
He's living in a van right now. He's been his whole thing. He's been staying. He's doing a nomadic thing with a van.
Oh, okay.
Like a $300,000 Sprinter van?
Not a Sprinter van. He's actually doing kind of like a beachy, like he's very hippy dippy. He does spend a lot of time in Hawaii. And like, listen, I know my man. I know.
And then he grew up in Iowa.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he moved from Hawaii to Iowa.
Is he Hawaiian?
He's Hawaiian.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I thought. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah,
He
he's
also was
from
in like the
Honolulu.
Hawaii Baywatch back in the day, like when it
Yeah.
had a reboot in the early 2000s.
I feel like
Yeah.
every
It was
time I
hot
see
then.
pictures of him, he's like on a beach in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you know what was funny? There were so many doppelgangers at this show.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really?
There was this guy in the crowd where if this guy was over 6 foot, I would have thought it was Jason Momoa, but this guy was like probably 5'10", 5'11".
Oh, a short little guy.
But he, from the side, the exact same beard, the bun, and he was just like rocking out. And I wanted to take a video of him so bad, but it would have been so obvious.
Like Jason Momoa rocking out to Jason
I
Momoa.
was just like, and then you look over there, and then you have Brock, and I was like, can we do a lookalike contest after this show?
yeah.
Oh,
Did you
my
show? You should
God.
have showed them a picture of Brock with his
With his
man
long
bun.
I
hair,
showed our
yeah.
friends. I wasn't gonna be like, hey, Jason, look.
Hey, Aquaman.
I love
But
it.
it was just such a fun show. I almost didn't go because of the ear thing. We went to a show the night before. The earplugs were driving me nuts. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just go.
Yeah.
Like, when else am I going to see his band at the Roxy? And I was like, fuck it. And so we went. The earplugs worked. I saw my Sir Girlies, and we got to say hi to him after the
That's
show.
fun.
And you've added another A-lister to the crew of Scheana Shay's fans.
Another
along Gaga,
A-lister
Seth
Jason showing up
Rogen,
at.
Oh my
Jason
God.
Momoa.
But it was so funny. His friend was like, did you see the Seth Rogen thing? And I was like, I did. And so he's watching the Valley now. And
terrifies
I was just like, oh my
I'm
God.
now retracing my steps and words because at some point Seth Rogen has been on my list of celebrities I'm allowed to sleep
Right.
with. And I'm like, did I? Because he's like, I watched the after show. I watched this. I watched.
I know.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure I've said that on there somewhere. And I hope it's not him and his wife who they're like, part of the reason he's like
Gaga
on my
and
list.
Seth Rogen are watching, and they're like, "Oh, we're their hall passes."
Yeah. I'm like, this is kind of embarrassing. But part of the reason I chose him is he's like such a nice, like happy married guy.
yeah,
Like I like the good guys.
Yeah.
But I was like, God, I hope he's not watching. And I'm like, my whole pass is.
right. And then
He
Brock's
probably
like, "Look,
is.
you can add Jason to your list." And I was like, "He's happily in a relationship, and I already have you.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll stick with Dr. Dre."
Like I can blur my eyes a little bit and pretend I'm with Jason Momoa
Yeah.
whenever I want.
Do you think Jason Momoa is my type?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's parts in my book where I talk about like my type and how that's gotten me in trouble at times. I think I married my type.
Yeah.
Do you think you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your type?
I do have a type.
Jared likes shorter guys.
So the thing is, I'm a true opposites attract kind of person on the
Okay.
physical level. So I'm 6'5". I'm
Yeah.
fair skinned, light eyes, light hair. So I'm attracted to, not tall, dark, and handsome, but like short, dark, and handsome.
Oh.
So that's kind of like my vibe.
Okay.
I pretty much historically have only dated, I've never dated a white guy, and yeah, I think, now that I'm older, like I just want someone who's nice also, and not a
Right.
psychopath from Los Angeles. But
yeah.
but yeah, physically, it's usually like who'd be like the perfect example? Like who am I crushing on? But then I have these one-offs, like Jason Momoa is
Yeah.
like one of my one-offs where it's just like I'm absolutely head over heels in love with him.
Yeah.
Like I did a whole contest on Instagram voting who should be my husband, and he
Oh, yeah.
won. Like
Yeah.
this was like a month long.
and you did a really good Photoshop job of making it look like you and Jason
No,
Momoa.
I had someone do those photoshops
Oh.
for me. That was
It looks like
we
they
have a
got
wedding
married.
photos. We have
Yeah.
all of it. But you know what really endeared him as a celebrity to me is his involvement with Be the Match,
Yeah.
which was
right.
like.
I wanted to talk about that too. So tell me more about that.
Well, yeah. So when I'm an ambassador for Be the Match now, NMDP, and it's they were just talking to me one time about some of like the programs that they have going on, and they're like, yeah, we're working with Jason Momoa is doing a big drive to get people to swab in Hawaii because his friend, who unfortunately did end up passing away, Travis Snyder, who's brothers or cousins with Zack Snyder, who does all the Batman and Aquaman and all those movies.
Mhm.
So they were just like, they're, a group of friends, Zack Snyder, Travis, Jason, I'm sure other people from the movie. And so he was just really passionate about wanting everyone to get on the registry. Because, it's all
Love
about
that.
diversity and having the most
Right.
types of different genetic matches. And being Hawaiian, that background is obviously has lots of mixed ethnicities, and it's like
Totally.
harder. The more diverse your genetic makeup is, the harder it is to find a transplant. So it's so
Oh,
important
yeah.
for everyone to join the registry.
There was, I don't know what the exact statistics or numbers were, but it was something like if Jason and my Jason both needed a match, it was like I would have
You
like
were like
1 in 3
75%,
or like something
75
like that.
to 80% chance of finding a match, and Jason's is like under 20%.
Wow.
It was like the huge difference. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's crazy. So yeah, getting as many people as you can, like a wider net, and more diverse net that's
Yeah.
more people that then will be
And he's
able
just
to have a match.
Interesting.
and using your platform like that, like when I saw that, I was like, that's so awesome that and the videos of the event that he did, he just like rented out one of the fancy hotels in, on one of whatever island that this was taking place on. And he just showed up just like, and it was just like kind of a party vibe. Like he just seems like a cool guy.
Mhm.
And there was no like, oh, come meet Jason. Like if he was just wandering around, just like, here's your swab kit. Here's just, like,
Yeah.
So that obviously was like the thing where I was like, maybe I can get into it, like a 6'5"
Right?
tree trunk of a man. But yeah, I don't know. But I think he's your type for sure.
Yeah.
Because like when I
Oh,
first met
totally.
Brock with the hair, I was like,
That's what I thought.
okay. I was like, okay,
It's like
Jason
4
Momoa
inches shorter.
2.0.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I saw on the band's Instagram story, he was like at Rainbow Room before the show, like bartending, just like
Oh.
pouring drinks. Like he just seems like such a chill.
I love
Yeah.
a down to earth
Cool guy.
celebrity
Yeah.
I love a down to earth celebrity.
and
yeah.
charitable
Right?
celebrity.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen is also on my list because he does hilarity for charity,
Uh-huh.
which is I think for Alzheimer's
Oh, yeah.
research and
Yes, he even spoke at the Capitol about it. And
Yeah.
it was,
he's
really,
really involved. And actually, he has an event coming up soon that we should go to.
Ooh, I'm down.
actually,
for
he's
his
back on the
charity.
list now that we think about it. And he's on my list too, and I'm single.
No, I think he does that, and I have a couple of friends that have worked with him in the charity, and he's always doing stuff for that. So
How do you feel when you know that big A-list celebrities are watching the show? Has that hit you yet?
I think it does when when you see like Rihanna and Seth Rogen.
Like if you
and
saw Rihanna at a party, you could say hi to her and she knows who Janet is.
I would collapse. I've heard she's one of those people that Jason saw her in real life like 10, 15 years ago. And he was like, she's one of those people that just like glows, that like when she walks in the room, she's like truly stunning, that you
Mhm.
like can't bring your eyes away from her.
And she
I could
smells so
see-
good.
Yeah,
When
I've
I
heard
met her,
that.
it was just like a radiation of like
Ah,
fragrance, like walking into a
Amazing.
floral botanical garden or something.
I guess I would be terrified, but probably would say hello if the opportunity was right. But
Mhm.
it is so strange.
yeah.
And I guess that then I have in the back of my head, like, do they hate me?
Right. Well, that's why I didn't approach Emma Roberts at Coachella. She walked right past me. She didn't see me. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I know that she watches the show, but also
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Are you team Scheana? Can you not stand
Yeah.
Scheana? Like, I don't want to just like go up and say, I'm just like, oh, this fucking girl. And so I had my friend who's like a publicist. She was like, no, Emma's like a good friend of mine. Like,
Yeah.
go say hi. And literally Emma was like, so you're not going to say hi to me? Like, what the hell, Scheana? And I was like, I didn't know if you liked me. Like, you're Emma Roberts. Like,
Chanel Oberlin, hello from
Yes.
Scream Queen.
She's iconic,
an icon.
but she was like so excited to see me.
That's awesome.
That's
I do
iconic.
feel
What
like
is life.
people who have been in the public eye and big celebrities like that, they've had hate for reason, no reason,
Mhm.
all of that. And they know how the game kind of works a little bit, the fame game.
Yeah,
And so I do feel like they're like, it's a show. It's,
right.
a
is
little
what
bit
it
more of an
is.
understanding of how like the sausage is made,
Yeah.
maybe, and be like, well, it's not
Yeah.
all or nothing.
Yeah.
I can imagine Rihanna being like, you know who I fucking hate, like for anything. She's when you're sitting with that much money, like that's a what's it called, like a Elon Musk thing to do, is sit around and like hate on
Yeah.
people with $1 billion.
Yeah.
Rihanna just loves everybody and just spending that money.
Yeah, I feel like Seth Rogen too. He's like always talking like he's like, it's the greatest show. He won't even like, somebody else in that interview was like, it's just trash on trash. And he like backed away from that
Mhm.
because I feel like he's just like, I just like the show itself, the good, the bad, all of it. Like
yeah,
he's like, so he appreciates like the format, I think. And
Yeah.
like is like, he can just, I wish more people could do that, honestly. Just be like, wow, I'm entertained. And that's what I'm
well, a
looking
lot of
for.
people can do that. Those people just aren't in the comment section, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it is such a small percentage of people who watch the show who are mean. But it's
Yeah.
like when you see that and that's all you're seeing, it feels like everyone hates you.
Yeah.
When you're at BravoCon, there will be a chance that you get booed.
I'm afraid of that.
I got booed.
I'm afraid of that.
There's a chance, but I promise you, when you're doing your meet and greets, your photo ops, walking around the bazaar and everything, every single person is going to come up to you and be like, oh my God, Janet, I love you. I love the show.
Right.
And those are not the people in the comment section. And I had so many people literally at BravoCon be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I see you get so much hate online. Like, I just want you to know, like, I don't really comment on social media, but
Yeah.
like me and all my friends, none of us feel this way. And I'm like, well, can you comment that?
Yes. I got a lot of that.
Actually, become a
Get in the
commenter.
comment section.
I finally shared because I was getting so much of it. I finally shared like some of the threats I was getting, especially
as
the
you
stuff
should.
that
Those
was
are disgusting. My heart was racing. I had tears in my eyes reading those.
and especially the stuff that like involves my child and stuff like that. And finally I was just like, I'm going to post one of these and just kindly ask everyone, say you don't like what I said or did, criticize me for the things I do on the show. I can take that. I signed up for that. But saying like stuff about my kid and threatening and making me feel unsafe, saying that you follow me, where where I am, where my son is when he's not with me, which I'm like, when is that? Like, like if I'm not with him, he's literally like home, safe with like, whatever. But when I shared that, I got almost 800 DMs that day from a lot of people who were also like, hey, I've never even DM'd like somebody from TV or someone that I don't know, but I want to let you know. And I got a lot of support and kindness, and I really did appreciate that.
And that's the majority of people who actually watch the show. It's the miserable people watching the show who are jealous that they don't have your life, your husband, your kid, and all of that. And they're going to be like, fuck this bitch. Die in a helicopter crash? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
that was a recent one.
Had chills. I could not believe that.
Yeah,
the racial slurs.
Yeah,
it's not okay.
From season 1, that was the one that really got me.
I just got another one of those this week.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah. But I'm saying like the first time when I was like, oh my God, what kind of fandom is doing this kind of thing?
Yeah. No,
and what works you up so much? Like, I don't even get that's worked up in my own life about stuff.
Right.
I got so worked up at that point, a little behind the scenes thing, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but that was the first time I got a racial slur in the beginning of all of this. I picked up the phone and called one of my castmates and said, like, can we not fan the flames on this so that we don't make it worse, so that we're not getting crazy people? Because, the hate is just, in general, it's like, yeah, sure, a bunch of people hate something. But when you get a bunch of people that hate something, you're also going to get some people who are not well, who are going to then take it to the next level of threats and slurs and things like that. And I went to, one of my, I wouldn't even say friend, but somebody, and I was like, can we not fan the flames on especially the race stuff? Like, this is getting really, really dark and deep and whatever. And I was basically told, if you can't handle it, then don't do it. So, and, and then mocked later for it. So.
And on that note, we're going to take another break. Hulu is the place to go for your favorite reality TV because Hulu gets real. You love reality TV, right? You know every star, every scandal, every tear, and every triumph. You know who else knows reality? Hulu, that's who. With shows like The Kardashians, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Got to Get Out, Vanderpump Villa, and more, Hulu has reality TV covered. If you're into glamour and romance, things are heating up on Hulu. Catch new seasons of Project Runway and Bachelor in Paradise this summer. And coming soon, catch the all-new reality series Love Thy Nader, starring the Nader sisters. Plus, don't miss an all-new season of Love Island UK streaming only on Hulu. There's so much great reality on Hulu, it's almost too real. Next time you need your reality TV, go to Hulu, because Hulu gets real. So one thing that I know we were talking about yesterday was I saw it on Instagram recently, and I saw some statistics that I thought were really interesting. Kind of still on the topic of health, but did you guys know that Stagecoach, the people at Stagecoach, consumed more alcohol in one day than both weekends of Coachella combined?
Oh my.
Really?
How insane is that?
Is it easier to get alcohol? Like, are there more bars? Or the line shorter?
No. So over the weekend, I saw a report showing how alcohol consumption is down overall, which they attributed the decline to how young adults like 18 to 34 are consuming alcohol. So in 2001, 71% of that age group reported alcohol consumption. Now it's 59%. And then there was another one where, what was it? It was like Gen Z and alcohol, a fading bond. So boomers, 25 billion. Gen X, 23.14 billion. Millennials, 23.45 billion. Gen Z, 3.13 billion.
Wow.
20 billion less?
Literally down 20 billion.
I was going to say the Coachella thing was probably like, because everyone's doing drugs.
No, it's because it's the younger crowd.
Yeah. Because they're not doing
Stagecoach is a
drugs
much
either.
older crowd. It's a bunch of beer drinkers.
Yeah.
At Coachella, I mean, I'm sure also more people are on drugs than they are drinking alcohol. It's
but
like
it is
the
a younger
water,
demo.
I'm sure, was higher at Coachella than it was at Stagecoach.
This makes sense because I feel like, we've talked about this on our podcast and I'm with you, but like West Hollywood feels very dead these days.
Yeah.
Like in our heyday, when we were single together and like going to the clubs and stuff, it was like I remember times like, even though you knew the people at the door and they had invited us to come, we still had to like fight through a sea of people to even get them to see us, to let us in. And it was like packed and it was like on Tuesdays it would be packed.
Oh,
and
Les Doux on a Wednesday. I swear to this day, every time I have a vodka Red Bull, I'm like, this tastes like Les Doux on a
You're
Wednesday.
so lucky you got to do like Les Doux and all that stuff. That's like one of my dreams. I used to like just fantasize about like partying with like Elsie.
Britney Spears.
Well, yeah, of
in
course,
her
Britney and Lohan.
2007 wig era, like she would be there. I mean,
just everywhere.
There was such a beauty of that time of no social media and no camera phones because there were celebrities everywhere, and I was often at the table with them. Like I remember one night being at a table with Justin Timberlake and Cuba Gooding Jr. and just hanging out with them and shooting the shit, and I'm like, what is life?
Yeah, that is a wild.
Now all the celebrities only go to the private clubs where you can't take photos, like San Vicente Bungalows, I feel like, and like Soho House.
Celebrities have changed
that
too.
one on? Nice Guy.
Nice Guy.
But celebrities have changed too because now it's like TikTokers and people like we've gotten more because it was like, oh my God, there's like 10 A-lists all at Hyde or Les Doux because it's like we're it's private. Where else you gonna go?
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, we got TikToker insert name here at Saddle Ranch doing you know what I mean? Like it's all over. But it is weird because you go to a place in West Hollywood or anywhere and you expect like, I want to go in and see all the youths getting ready for their wild night. I want to pop in around 10 p.m., see them all come piling in, fight through for it to the bar, get a couple drinks. And then when they start to get really rambunctious around 1 a.m., we dip out. But instead, it's us, the millennials, being there, holding down the fort and holding down the vodka drinks.
Yeah.
No,
the whole
literally.
time.
I feel like, obviously possible reasons for the decline can include an increased awareness in the health risks of alcohol.
It's bad for you?
Growing popularity of non-alcoholic beverages. There are so many good little, like yesterday, Lala's house. They're stocked with these like non-alcoholic Palomas and stuff. And I'm like, I would rather have one of those than a White Claw or whatever. You know,
it takes me it takes me 2 martinis.
Yeah. So I feel like people are switching more towards a health conscious lifestyle. Although I will say with the Gen Z, everyone's puffing the vapes.
Yeah.
Do you not know what like the health risks of nicotine?
Or they're choosing one vice and the vice is the nicotine instead of the alcohol. I also feel like Gen Zers they were at a weird growing up point during COVID. And COVID, I feel like, changed all of us. Like it made me a much more of a homebody than I ever have been in my entire life. So I feel like there is something about when you're like 20, 21 and the world shuts down and you have to be home all the time, it does like shift your perspective on like social gatherings.
And you know what else they're doing is they're talking about like the vape, like they love to vape, but like they're super against Diet Coke and Coke Zero. They call them fridge cigarettes.
Oh my God, the aspartame.
Fridge
cigarettes.
Give
me the nicotine.
They
Fuck
call
the
them fridge
aspartame.
cigs. Yeah, and it's like
fridge cigs.
Yeah.
I've not heard this.
Yes, like
I'm
Gen
so
Z is like so
I can't.
It's my whole thing is like my desperate attempt to stay youthful is like I try to like just know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, oh yeah. And so I'm like holding my Diet Coke, like chugging it. And I'm like, like launching. I'm like, someone give me a big old vape instead. Like I'm trying to do what Gen Z does. But I don't know. I got to enjoy life a little bit.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have my martinis and my Diet Cokes and I'll
Yeah.
skip the vaping.
I'm never getting rid of the espresso martinis.
Yeah.
No.
Those are here to stay.
Especially at Chili's.
Courtney's a Gen Z, right? Like prime.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
she
she's
is.
at the very end of millennial. She's
Okay.
like on the cusp.
What
Okay.
year was she born?
97. And I think that it like
It's, like,
ends in
right
like
around
97 or something. It's right around there.
I thought
know
it was
she's
96.
Okay, maybe.
Something.
But
She's on the cusp.
she's like right
I
there.
view her as Gen Z, but she is too. No, I said she's too smart to be. Anyways, your sister's very mature and smart for her age,
No,
but she
she
looks
is. But
so
my
young
sister
and cool.
also, she loves a drink. You know,
Yeah.
she loves a crafted cocktail. She's kind of
Yeah.
a bougie drinker. She loves her matcha. Like the
Yeah.
matcha at the places that Justice, my sister's boyfriend, he owns a couple coffee shops in Vegas, for those of you who don't know. And if you're in the Summerlin area, you should go check it out. It's called Better Days. He's opening up another in Vegas, and then we've just invested in the one in Costa Mesa called
so
Salty
excited
Horse.
about that.
And
Oh, yeah.
she is such a matcha snob that like when you go to any of these places, it's going to be the best fucking matcha you've ever had. Like
Yeah.
Alfred's who?
I'm loving
Wow.
her reviews. She's been
Yeah.
doing little TikTok or stories. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm an old lady.
You're a millennial.
Social medias.
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah,
Marketplace.
I'm really excited. It should be open soon.
I'm so
and
excited for
I
that.
can't wait for like the opening party and for everyone to check it out. The food, everything about it. It's going to be so good. And
So
it's going to be very, Gen Z Instagram friendly where you're going to want to go.
Yeah.
So, but going back to drinking in our 20s or in our teens, do you remember the first thing that you ever drank, and what was your drink of choice at like high school parties, college parties?
I know mine for sure.
Boone's Farm,
It was
the Smirnoff Ice.
Zima.
Zima!
It was black cherry
Yes!
Zima.
Oh my God.
And one of our friends had a boyfriend who was like a little bit older. Teen drinking is very bad. Yo, I got a fake ID though, so he would go and buy it for us.
I
and
remember
we
my
would get
grandparents drank Zimas. Like they would be in the fridge. PBR,
So sugary.
Zimas, and Franzia wine.
Oh,
Yes,
Franzia.
yeah.
Franzia in college, we definitely slapped the bag. Goldschlager when I was like high school underage.
That
That was
reminds
like
me of
if we
Superbad.
could get a bottle of Goldschlager, that would be good.
What
And
about
then,
Mad Dog 2020? Anyone do the MD 2020?
I was never,
No,
that's
what's that?
beer, right? Is it beer?
I've never heard of this, you guys.
Wait, which is the ones that
What is
they
Mad Dog 2020?
strap
Like a
to your hands?
malt liquor or something? Yeah, it's a malt liquor.
Oh,
It
okay.
is, and I would get the orange flavor.
I think I had those strapped to my hands in college at one point for like Edward 40 hands.
Oh, I just
Oh
saw that
my
in a
God.
movie.
And you like
Or
can't
something.
pee until you're done with
Yeah.
both of them.
Yes.
That is-
What movie was I just watching that had that in?
It sounds like
I don't know.
super bad or something.
No, it was like a new movie. Oh, it was on
Oh.
Overcompensating.
Oh, the
Yes.
oh my
That's
God,
right.
I love
I'm
that
like, I
show.
just watched this recently.
Yes.
Oh my
That's
God, that
right.
cracks me up.
Love that
What we
Also
would
never heard
drink
of
back
that.
in the day, like, oh my God.
I used to love a Midori sour. Oh my
I
God.
don't even know what that is.
That was like my drink. It's like Midori and sweet and sour. It's a green drink that has a cherry in it.
Mm.
Disgusting.
I can't believe I did this, but in college I would drink loaded Coronas, which is Bacardi O, a shot of
Oh,
Bacardi O
yeah.
in the neck of the bottle.
Uh-huh.
We really were in the culture of like mixing alcohol because it was like
Absolutely.
everyone I knew was just like Long Island iced tea.
Yeah,
just
I
every
drank
like we would go
those.
into the college clubs and
Yeah.
stuff. Orlando was a scene though, and not in a
Yeah.
positive way.
Do you remember when we used to play beer pong and we would drink the beer that the dirty balls
Yeah.
from the floor was
Yeah.
in?
In a frat house.
Mhm.
Like, why did we never put that together that like we shouldn't have beer in the actual cups and drink this beer?
I mean, that was probably that was truly the least of our worries,
I
at
know.
least mine.
Yeah, if I was
But
drawing
now I'm like,
lines.
oh, dip it in the water. Like, that's not disinfecting it. It's just watering it.
Oh
Yeah.
no, we were fully.
The water cups would be like brown by the end. It's like, what are
You
we
don't know where
doing
people's
here?
hands have been, and then it's in the beer, and then you're like, drink.
But if I was drawing a line at something in college, like there
That
was a
was not
lot
it,
worse
yeah.
stuff I was doing
Yeah.
than
Did you ever
drinking.
do a keg stand?
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
did one about 5 years ago. Was my most recent
I
one.
feel like I was with you when you did a
Oh.
keg stand at some
I
point.
was
didn't
in
you do
San
your wedding?
Diego. It was at F45 with Brock.
Oh.
Full keg stand.
I
Yeah.
could have sworn you did one at your wedding,
Did I?
like at the afters.
I might have.
I think you might
I
have.
feel like I've seen you do
Yeah,
a
I
keg
feel
stand
like-
somewhat
you know what? That
recently.
sounds familiar.
I feel like, yeah, if you get a vague memory of that, it happened. Because I have a vague memory of it, and I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
false implanted memory or if I'm. But I swear to God, I remember you in a white dress.
I could see
feet
that.
up.
I could see that.
I could see that. Face down, ass up, feet up.
Gulp, gulp.
Okay, one thing I wanted to ask you about. Have either of you been following the Karen Reid trial?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know, just a little background. After a mistrial last year, Karen Reid has gone from murder suspect to a cult hero after being found not guilty last week. Karen is a former professor from Massachusetts who was implicated in the death of her cop boyfriend, John O'Keefe, back in 2022. But did she do it? Was she framed by her boyfriend's cop buddies? Like, what is the
Ooh,
truth,
my
you know?
God.
A few jurors have spoke out about their decision. One said that the panel was a mix between definitely innocent and others who agreed there was enough reasonable doubt to acquit. He also said that the hordes of Reid fans outside the courthouse added extra stress to jury deliberations, though he said it didn't impact the verdict as there were a lot of holes in this investigation. So
Oh, yes. there
now that
were.
she was acquitted, will this end here, or do you think they will continue investigating what happened?
That's my question is like, we saw a lot of evidence from the cop friends
Yeah.
and their wives who were at the house that night. And is there enough evidence there to put somebody else on trial?
Mhm.
Or is it going to kind of just
I think it's going to be very
disappear?
telling. I predict that the cops and stuff are going to just drop it. And I think that would be very telling about the crew that he was last hanging out with.
Mhm.
I found it
yeah.
most suspicious that the scrapes on his arm, they were arguing, is this a dog bite or attack? Or is this what happens
Yeah.
when you get hit with a taillight that cracked or
Right.
whatever? I find it very strange that they got rid of the dog so shortly after that.
Mhm.
They like remodeled their basement where they were all hanging out, like down to the concrete, and repainted the concrete or something like that. And just a lot of the moves afterwards felt like hiding evidence.
Mhm.
And if you
And-
watch her documentary, so the craziest part is on HBO Max, she has a documentary. I think you just have to type in Karen Reid. And it covers the entire run of the trial, of the first trial. And when you watch her, she can come off harsh. She can be
Mhm.
direct. She can have all these character flaws that people don't love to see in a woman. But that is an innocent woman. This is
Yeah.
a woman who's made peace and has grieved the
Mhm.
loss of what's happened and who's now fighting for her life and for her freedom.
Yeah.
And so I stand by her. I support her.
Me
I'm
too.
so happy that she was acquitted from that. She did get charged with driving under the influence,
Fair.
which is wild
Fair.
because all of those cops
as you
were
should
drunk
if you're driving
Yeah.
under the influence,
Yes.
you know?
And she admitted that, and maybe
And
some of
they,
the
I
other
mean, she was
people
very
should.
obvious, and they tried to really slam her. The stinker for me is is the butt dials. Every one of those people, they all were like, oh yeah, I accidentally butt dialed her for a few, like one of my friends for a few seconds. And then another cop accidentally butt dialed another one. And then he claimed it was because he was having sex with his wife. So he butt dialed her.
So you have your phone while you're
Yeah,
having sex?
But so there was 3 or 4 butt dials all within like an hour-long
Yeah.
period
Yeah.
between 4 different people. And they were all just like, we don't know what was going on. Our phones were just
Oops.
butt dialing left and right.
Statistically, that can't be true.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I've never butt dialed anybody. I've had my phone out and like accidentally called, you know what I mean? But like,
if
I've never.
my screen is open with my recent calls, sometimes if I'm like, oh shoot, sorry, didn't mean to call
Yeah,
you.
there's no chance that 3 butt dials all happen the same night with multiple different people and all of that, unless they can show me their phones that they do that multiple times every single day.
Right.
Something weird's there.
No,
Yeah.
that's weird.
And
it
I
almost
do.
seems
I
like they're
think
hiding a dead body.
it's also, I feel like one of those things where when you're accused of something, it reminds me almost like of Amanda Knox, who I also think
Yeah.
is innocent. Like when you're on trial, you have to be perfect. You have to have the right reactions. You have to cry at the right time or not cry.
Yeah.
You're being picked apart by like, oh, and Karen Reid, I feel like people were like, she's like too tough and like she doesn't seem sorry. She doesn't seem sad. And it's like, yeah, well, she's probably grieved all of this. And then also she has to worry about herself right now. Like,
Mhm.
and if you didn't do it, I'm coming out guns blazing too, being
Yeah.
like, I'm standing up for myself.
Yeah.
So I think she's been picked apart for being like a strong, confident woman. And I think that that's unfair. And I think that happens a lot in different trials, especially with women. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
especially with women. I feel like, whenever we have a woman on trial, it's like, well, she's not acting like how I think she should. So she
Right.
must be guilty.
Well, and she was sexually liberated. You know, she was single, dating not single, but dating him as like a boyfriend, not a husband.
Yeah.
And they were able to like pull some sexy texts and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are happy about it because there's, maybe some alleged corruption within that town and stuff. So I think the right choice was made. I'm thrilled for her. I think, if you go back and watch the HBO Max documentary, you will be too.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
That's that.
to wrap this episode up, thank you guys all for listening. Thank you, Janet and Jared, for joining me in the studio. Make sure to listen to their podcast, This Side of the Hill. And you have Jason on that as well.
Yep.
So you can get the Capernas weekly and Jared and The Valley, all new every Tuesday on Bravo and Peacock the next day. And if you haven't already, pre-order my book, mygoodsidebook.com. Reserve your copy today or go buy tickets to my live show, which comes with a copy of the book, or do both. Just extra support. Give it out for a Christmas gift, birthday gift.
I
It's
just
a
have
good
to
read.
say too, this is the first time that I've been here since reading the book. You guys, it is so good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Scheana's fan.
Yeah.
It's
So
so good.
good.
It's so good. I read it cover to cover.
Did you
I couldn't
finish it
put it
yet?
down.
Yeah.
I couldn't put it down.
Yay.
Literally, I read it in one swoop.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. All right. Well, thank you guys. We will be back next week getting into some more shenanigans, and I can't wait to see you on tour.
I've been searching for this all my life.